Okay, how long do I have?
They are, this is the last day of school, and they're over at 2:15, school is out. Yep.
What's your name?
What was he saying when he said
That's Miss Cole.
Okay, I guess so. And the other two that come in there? Okay.
No, she is Miss Dalton.
I guess the format is for me just to kind of let you guys know who I am and what I'm about, where I came from. Okay, so we'll start from the beginning. It won't be like a boring movie. I just kind of keep it moving. I want your feedback more so than I want to talk. Okay. I was born in a town called A Hospital, North Carolina. Anyone know what Elizabeth City is? This is close to the coast, going toward Norfolk. Have you heard of Norfolk, Virginia, Hampton, Virginia? Yeah. My hometown was near there, so that's where I grew up. It's a small town. We had about 3 lights, so you go to 3 lights, you're out of the town. Traffic.
So that's just like Tall Grill and
it's still there. Yeah, it's in the northeast. Exactly, it's in the northeastern part of the state, so it's up in that area. So, anyhow, that's where I was born. I mean, from start through high school, that's where I stayed. I didn't move. So I grew up there and went to a place called A Hospital High School, where I played 4 sports. I ran track, played basketball, baseball, and football. Football I used to get to college because I was a scholarship athlete. I went to Hampton University. Have you all heard of Hampton? That's where I played football.
What was this?
Tailback. Yeah. So that's what I did. I used college. I used my high school gifts, my athletics gifts to get a scholarship to play in Hampton. I played there for 2 years until I shattered my ankle. My ankle got shattered, so that was it for me. I was done. But I played tailback at Hampton for 2 years. All along, I was a pretty good student. So that helped me. After football, I was kind of using football thinking that I was going to play professionally. It was not really realistic. It was not a realistic dream for me because I didn't start at Hampton. So how was I going to leave a small HBCU and go play with the Dallas Cowboys or something like that? It just wasn't working out. If I couldn't start at Hampton, I couldn't. But anyhow, I had fun doing it. That's kind of what I did. How long I kept my grades up. I was doing that because I had to have a plan B. Football wasn't going to work out. I had to have something else. So fortunately, because of keeping my grades up, I was a biology major. So I majored in biology. I also minored in education in case I couldn't get into dental school. So I had always had the plan from day one in college that I was going to go to dental school. That football didn't work out. So life will throw you some curves. My ankle got shattered. I couldn't play football anymore. So I could have just said, oh, I'm just gonna go back home and hang out with the guys that I was hanging out with, which wasn't working. So I kept on pursuing my academic skills and got into dental school. So after I left Hampton, I was there for 4.5 years. I went into overtime. I didn't finish on time, but I got out. So after I left Hampton, I went to Chapel Hill. That's where I went to dental school. So my grades were good enough to get me into Chapel Hill and into dental school. It took me 4 years to get out of there. And so that's what I did after I left Hampton. Went to Chapel Hill and got my dental degree. And now I practice in Charlotte off of Prosperity Church Road. Near Highland Creek.
Oh, yeah.
It's dentistry.
So that's what I do. I've been doing that since 1987. So I finished high school in 78, finished college in 82. Taught school for 6 months because I had to wait until I got into dental school for the fall semester 1983. And 1983 to 1987, I was in dental school. I've been doing it ever since. So that's my story about my profession. Now, all along, there's life going on in between all that, so I'm kind of opening it up for you guys. Ask me questions about what went on in between the lines.
Yeah. What made you want to be a dentist?
Well, my mother was a nurse, so because of that, she had some friends who were medical doctors and dentists, and they would kind of bring me in and ask me to ask them questions, which I did. And I just wanted a job where I could do something in the medical field, but didn't have to deal with the life and death issues a medical doctor deals with every day. I didn't want the hours that a medical doctor had. So that's kind of how I settled in on dentistry.
I got one. You was all the way on the West Coast. How you end up in Charlotte?
West Coast?
Yeah. You say you was on the West Coast.
No, I was from this state, but in the northeastern corner of the state. That's where my home is. And how I got here was just opportunity. I worked in public health for a while, which meant that I worked for the state or health department. I worked in Guilford County and I worked for the state of North Carolina, just going all around the state doing dentistry, talking about dentistry.
So you don't got your own spot?
Hmm?
You don't got your own
I do now. I've been in my own place now for 12 years.
in Charlotte?
Mhm.
And you be working on people's teeth like you pay people to do all that.
I do it. Now, we do have hygienists. In most of the offices, you have the component where the dentist is the guy in charge, and he does what he's licensed and legal, what he's legal to do. You also have hygienists who are legalized to do dental cleanings, but they have to work underneath the supervision of the dentist. So I have in my office 2 hygienists, a dental assistant who just helps me. She doesn't do any practice of dentistry per se, and 2 front desk people.
I don't understand what you just said.
Okay, I'm in the dental office. You don't usually see a dental. If you go in the medical office or a dental office, and when you first come in, you usually don't see the dentist, right?
You see like
The receptionist, or a young lady or a young man who says, "Welcome, glad you're here." The dentist will be with you in a moment, or the doctor will be with you in a moment. So, in those positions, have 2 people, receptionists and someone who handles insurance claims and business aspect of the practice. After you leave the front part and go in the back, you may see someone in my operatory room that I work in who would say, "Have a seat," and then she will put a bib on you, and the dentist comes in the room. So that would be the dental assistant most of the time. Then the dentist will see you, and in the other 2 rooms in my office, there are people, 2 young ladies who are cleaning teeth, doing dental cleanings. Those, they are called hygienists.
So why they be taking so long? I say you'll meet at 10:30, you don't get calls like 10:50.
Yeah, that's a good question. I try not to do that. You never know what you're going to encounter when you get in there. Something may happen which may make the procedure or the patients before you last longer than we want it to. And then some offices, the dentist just overschedule.
What's the worst?
Have you ever had a person with a whole mouth of rotten teeth?
Sure, yeah, all the time.
What
Yeah,
condition do you? What condition do your teeth have to
Let him
be?
answer that part, cause that went me down.
You had to pull them out.
Sometimes we can do root canals or do big fillers. We can either do a big filling in it to take out all the decay and put filler material in there. Other times we have to do a root canal if the decay has gotten into, or the infection's gotten into the nerve of your tooth, which is called the pulp. The pulp is consistent of, or consists of blood vessels and nerves. Sometimes we have to take that material out, put some gutta perch in there, which is the root canal filling. The tooth has no more life in it, but you can still use it. And you cover that up with a filling or a crown.
Like, they have like holes in it.
You take out the holes and fill it in, fill the hole in with some sort of filling material.
What you do with the teeth? You still rotten.
Well, we take out all the decay,
Okay,
so you clean it out and put a filling material in there while all the rotten material.
They hurt.
And sometimes you do have to take the teeth out. I mean, that's the last option. That's the last that we want to do, but we do that.
So when somebody got crooked teeth, what do you do?
Now you have to go. In my case, send you to an orthodontist. That's a doctor.
You can't do that.
Some dentists do. They do Invisalign. There are different degrees of orthodontic movement that you can use. Some dentists do, like I am a general practitioner. I just basically, I do a little bit of everything, but I don't specialize.
So like, if you had somebody have a crooked tooth,
I send them to an orthodontist.
I'm saying, like, what would they do? Like, would they twist it back in place, or?
They put bands and brackets on your teeth.
Oh, braces.
Yeah, braces. Put bands and brackets on your teeth, and they, with the different torquing and the different movements they do on those wires and bands, that causes your teeth to move slowly, but they move. Sometimes it takes about a year to 2 years for most cases to get to the finished form. There are different specialties. Like I'm a general practitioner. You have periodontists who deal with gum disease, orthodontists who deal with straightening your teeth, oral surgeons, and those are the guys. If you've had wisdom teeth, any of you have had wisdom teeth or jaws broken, if you get your jaw broken or anything like that, wire your jaw back and take wisdom teeth out.
I know somebody like it's like a bone right there. Every time you go out there,
It
it
pops.
pops.
Yeah, it could be broken, or you could have problems with your joint up here. I want to call it temporal mandibular joint, right up here. Having on both sides.
I got plenty of questions.
How long does it take to go to school to be a dental hygienist? Whatever.
Dental hygienist, and you can do that here in most counties. You can go to your community colleges and do it in 2 years. In Chapel Hill, the ones that attended hygiene school with me when I was up there, it took 4 years. So I think you can do it as quickly as 2 years. And it pays, let me throw this out at you, it pays them about in North Carolina between $32 and $35 an hour. So it's not bad.
Our implants work.
Implants working this way. That same bad tooth that everyone was talking about, if you can't save it, you got to take the tooth out. And all teeth have roots on them. Okay, so when you take the tooth out, what's going to be left in the bone? When you take the tooth out, you have the areas where the roots were. Okay, you have some holes. The implant is basically an artificial root. It's a metallic post that you put down, or metallic post, for lack of a better term, you put into the bone where the tooth was, and you hope that the bone grows around it and tightens it up. So after you get that implant that's in the bone, this is where the tooth was taken out. Everybody can appreciate that, right? Mm-hmm. You put that implant in there like that, and it's going to take about 6 weeks to 3 months for that bone to grow into that implant if it stays. Sometimes they don't. Your body resists it and it won't work. That's rare. But anyhow, that bone grows into that implant, and then from that we put an abutment and a crown on top of it. Or you can put dentures, or you can hook a denture onto it because you have a part. This is a part below at the bone line and below the gum. Then we put, as a dentist, I can do this part a lot. I put a post that comes from the bone and the gum line up. That's an abutment. Then I either put a crown or attach the denture to the implant so it stays in.
You know when they say you gotta, this one need an F1. What they mean by that?
Those are surfaces. These are good questions. Let's say I'm in the office and you're sitting down there, you're open, and you say, doctor says number 2 needs an OF, number 3 needs a DO.
Yeah, they be the same.
Those are different surfaces of your teeth. Your teeth have different areas on them, and we kind of map them out. The top part of the tooth is called the occlusal surface. The part facing the front of your mouth is called the mesial. The part going toward the back of your mouth is the distal. Part going toward your face is called the facial or the buccal, and the part of the tooth that goes toward your tongue is called the lingual. So if I'm saying, for instance, you need an O filling on number 2, what part of the tooth did I just say? Occlusal. Instead of saying the whole word, we just say O, occlusal. F should be pretty good. That means towards your what?
Back.
Face. And mesial means going toward the front. Distal means going to the back. Lingual, that's L. That means going toward your tongue. So it's just different mappings of the tooth, different areas, so we can designate where the filling needs to go.
Did you have any difficult times in your life, and how did you overcome them?
Okay. I was hoping that was coming. I told you I was going to fill in the blanks between all that. Okay. Where did it start? Okay, I'm playing football in high school. So then that came to football mentality, doing stuff I shouldn't be doing. I just got lucky and didn't get caught. So that's what it was. Trying to be popular, thinking I was all that, for lack of a better term, dating as many women as I could. I just got lucky. I didn't have any pregnancies that I know of. You know, Father's Day, I still get nervous. You never know what may pop up a few years later. I mean, I'm serious. My brother found out, I found out that I had a niece. I think we just need to be honest. I found out I had a niece 10 years ago. My brother left college. This was his child. He didn't find out for 40 years that he had a child.
What year? What year?
He was dating a young lady in college. She left. The girl was 40 years. Well, so the girl was 40 when he found out. So about 20 years he didn't know. She left college. They had a relationship. She left college and never kept in contact with her. Then the young lady wanted to find out who her father was. Later in life, found out that this was his child. So I found out I had a niece 20 years after my brother. She was 40 at the time. My niece was. Yeah, 42. Yeah. I don't know how the math works. She was 40. So he was 18. So what is that? What is that? Yeah, I mean, he was close to 60. He was 58. He had the girl was, the mother of the child got pregnant when they were in college. So they were 18. And she was 40. Isn't that about right? You're from New Yeah. So that's what.
Is your math class?
Yeah, so he was about 58 when he found out because she was 40.
Did he have any other kids?
I had a nephew and a niece.
And so your nephew found out he had a sister.
Exactly. And my niece found out she had a sister. So that's life, fellas. That's the way it is. But back to, I didn't want to disappoint myself or my parents, so that's why I kind of, was happy to leave a hospital because it was a bad environment for me. The friends I was hanging out with, we were cool as all get up, but we were getting in too much trouble, So football kind of saved me in that respect because I was able to get out of the hospital. Now, Hoskin's not that far from Hampton, Virginia. That was about an hour and a half or so, but it was far enough for me to get away from what I needed to get away from. And I had relatives there, so did that answer that question? Or?
Yeah. But like, did you have like any like problem like with the police or anything?
I got lucky. I didn't say that enough. I mean, really, I could have. You know how you can be in a place and an hour later you found out they getting raided or something like that. That's the kind of stuff I was charmed. I was out of the area when stuff came down.
That's good.
Good, but it still doesn't erase the fact that I was somewhere I shouldn't have been. It just, that's just how it works out sometimes.
You say you played track,
Ran track.
baseball, basketball, and football. Did you all play them at one time? Or
Well, different seasons. I didn't, of course, I didn't do all four in college, but I did, when one season we in, I just ran right to the other. After football season, we went right to basketball. And track was in spring. Huh?
What position you playing basketball?
I was forward, believe it or not. I was one of the tallest ones in the high school. We didn't win many games. I played against Dominique Wilkins. You all remember him? Washington. Yeah. And my cousin who did play professional football, played with the Cowboys. His name was Timmy Newsome. He played back in 2014. He went to Winston-Salem State.
Well, then he played for the Hornets.
Huh?
Then he played for the Hornets.
No. He played football with Cowboys back in the 80s.
You said he played somebody in basketball.
I played Dominique. In high school, I played against Dominique Wilkins. Now, this is back in the late 70s, early 80s. He makes a commercial now talking about diabetes. Talks about his diabetes in his commercial. Name is Dominique Wilkins. I know I'm dating myself. And then you all remember?
Heck yeah. That's when basketball was good.
Yeah, he used to play with the Hawks.
Yeah. He played with the later on.
He may have had it in latter years, but he played most of his years with the Hawks. And he's Hall of Fame, I believe. He played against Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was in high school. Michael Jordan was a couple of years behind him in high school. Michael Jordan played high school at Langley. He was in Wilmington. He played at Langley High School in Wilmington. That's what Michael Jordan is.
How hard was it to keep up your grade playing sports?
Not too hard for me because I didn't want to be second best. I was arrogant to that point, which helped because I didn't want anybody to outdo me.
You did your homework.
Mm-hmm.
You get help on that.
I got help when I needed it. Sometimes.
You didn't cheat.
Nah.
You didn't cheat on nobody, baby.
Nah.
You know you cheat. You ask.
No.
Everybody cheat.
No. But no, I did. I really did. It was a small town, and if I did, it was so small that the teachers would call my parents and get me in trouble, and I didn't want to deal with that type of stuff. Yeah.
How much are braces?
How much does braces cost?
Braces, now this is without insurance. You're pretty close. If you do the metal ones, that may last you, it may take you about 3 to 5 years or 2 to 5 years to get done. You're looking between $3,000 and $5,000 for the treatment. Minimum.
So what you got Medicaid?
Sometimes insurance will help. All depends on your particular case and your age with Medicaid. They do cover some for kids. I think after you lose all of your baby teeth. I think between 11, 10, and 18, they may cover some cases. Other insurances, you can have any number of dental insurances that may help with it.
So you gotta the doctor gotta prescribe you for braces, or you can just go, yeah, I don't.
Usually somebody like me who's a general dentist would have to say, I'm going to send you to an orthodontist, like we were talking about before. Usually you had to come to me, and then I would write a referral to a specialist. And I would do that for almost any specialist that you see. Have to start with somebody like me first.
Who come out that you look it up?
Yeah, come back.
You know when somebody Brian, like what kind of cells do it kill in your teeth, and how do it get all right?
Well,
How are you doing that?
well, your teeth have enamel on the top of them. The top that the part of the tooth that you grind down is enamel. Underneath the enamel is dentin. So what happens when you grind, that enamel is designed, it's the hardest structure you have on your teeth. It's designed to keep you from developing any sensitivity and make sure you can chew your food well. Once you grind through that, the teeth do flex. Although everybody thinks they're hard as rock, the teeth flex. And that grinding can cause you to chip away the enamel and cause your roots to decay and cause your roots to break down as well. So what that can do is upset that nerve, that pulp that I was telling you about before. Once that pulp starts to become damaged, then you lose the power to resist sensitivity to hot, cold, and pressure. Then when your teeth start, because you've ground them so badly, your teeth start to develop sensitivity to hot, cold, and pressure, then you have other problems. They're easier to get cavities in them. Also, you start to become, you become pain. You become full of pain, and you get a lot of pain when you wake up in the morning. You can also damage the joints in this area here because of your ground. Sounds like rocks being rubbed together. If you ever hear or you've ever been in a room with somebody who grinds their teeth, it sounds like you're rubbing rocks together. So, and you're putting enough pressure on your teeth when you grind them to crack them and break them. So that's a lot of pressure. So all that can damage the pulp, leading to pain, and then whatever else we have to do, fillings, extractions, or root canals. And it can also damage your joint here in that area right there.
How much do braces cost without dental insurance?
We already answered that the first
Oh, how much do you get paid per year?
Okay, on an average, I would give you an average. In dentistry, you can get paid probably, if you work for somebody else, you're looking at between 60 and 80,000. So let's start around 60 to 80. And it really goes up. In the average, I think the average in North Carolina is between $80,000 and $300,000. Now that's, I'm including specialists too. Specialists get paid more than general dentists. Doctors who do root canals and take out teeth, do gum disease, periodontists, prosthodontists, pediatric dentists. They usually get paid more because they usually handle the cases that we can't handle. So they charge more in insurance. A lot of times insurance just won't cover procedures, so people have to come out of pocket to pay specialists. So everything they get is at a premium.
Oh, how do they fix it if your front teeth is not even? How do they fix it if your front teeth not even?
You can either use braces or you can try to even them out by doing fillings.
You know, teeth. You know, you with your teeth, you're like, see if your teeth be chill. Y'all put it artificial. I stay in like without doing.
We bond it now. What I use is it's called a composite, which is a tooth-covered filling. So catch it. That means we use some sort of acid to roughen up the tooth after we use it. Everybody knows about the hand piece of thing that we use, the drill, right? We roughen it up with that. Put a little acid on the tooth, which puts little microscopic holes in it, put some bonding material, and then we put a filling material that closely matches the color of your natural teeth. Put that up there and shake it. That hopefully holds.
You know how people like they chew on tobacco and people say like you chew on tobacco like you get the whole like you know draw like around your teeth. That happen?
Yeah, it can also cause cancer.
Yeah. What kind of cancer?
Oral cancer, mouth cancer. Tobacco has a number of substances in it, cause your gums to change texture, and you get mutated cells, and then those mutated cells are cancer cells. And you get that from smoking whatever. Everybody says cigarette, yeah, you get it from smoking the other stuff too.
What's that?
Crack,
You get cancer.
marijuana,
Right?
yeah.
What cancer is that?
Yeah, your gum
Right,
tissues
too.
change. You can get oral cancer from that.
What about smoking?
Same thing. Well,
You mess up your teeth.
well, you get a lot of stains, marijuana, because you know a lot of people don't use filters. For cigarettes, at least you have filters. But if you're just smoking cigarettes or herb without any kind of filter on it, you never heard this fresh herb.
They know what it means.
I'm dating myself. But anyhow, if you anything that you smoke that has some sort of smoke coming out of it, especially those people who smoke meth really mess up their teeth because there's something in that smoke that breaks the enamel down in the tooth structure. Right. Exactly. So anything that you put in your mouth during the smoking can damage the teeth and cause cancer.
What class?
They got so many questions out there. Where is it at? Oh wow. Okay, what class?
What classes and subjects are most helpful to your career?
Sciences. Mostly all the sciences. You got your biology or biochemistry, chemistry, different types of organic and inorganic chemistry, maths, trigonometry, calculus. Took some, I said biochemistry. Physics is another subject that I had to take. And these are just kind of your mandatory courses that you have to take in order to take the DAT exam. The DAT exam is the exam that allows you to apply to dental school. But that's done in college. Now, if you're in high school, you have to kind of stick to your biology, your earth sciences, and those types of courses. And certain your minimal math courses to get into, well, maybe they can take a trig or two. Some people take calculus in high school as well, but all of these allow you to become a biology major or a chemistry major.
Are you familiar with AHEC?
AHEC. AHEC.
Yeah, AHEC.
Yeah, I think that's the AHEC like we have in Charlotte is an area where you can get courses outside of the school environment. I get continuing education courses through there, which means although I finished those school, I still have to get a certain amount of hours every year in classwork to keep my license. So I still have to go to school every year. And AHEC does provide opportunities for that. And it provides opportunities for those in high school and college as well. It's another form of a way to get education.
Does that have to put braces on?
Not usually. To put them on now when your teeth start to move, then your gums can get real sore. A lot of people lose weight while they're in braces the first couple of months because your teeth are moving, your bones changing, and when you bite down on food, the teeth are real sore and sensitive. Anybody have braces in here?
Sure.
Yeah. It'll be a little sore for company, but it'll be worth it. It'll be tough for the first couple of days, maybe a month or so.
Like I can brush your teeth like that. You got the things.
No, they're different. We have different toothbrushes that you can use to get in between and underneath the bracket. We don't let anybody get off the hook. You have to brush your teeth better when you have braces than you do
What type of toothpaste?
when you don't have braces. Because you can get a lot of cavities underneath those braces.
So what's on the braces?
They bond them on, they bond the brackets on.
Don't they teach them first and then put that on?
They etch it, clean it on.
What are the best undergraduate majors to go to dentistry?
Best undergraduate majors: biology, biochemistry, chemistry, psychology. Now, keep in mind, you can major in anything. You just have to take the certain math and science classes that you have to get into dental school. And in some schools, you don't even have to finish undergrad. You just have to take the required courses to get into dental school. Now, that may have changed. But you can, once you take the DAT, the dental aptitude test, you can get into dental school with that. But I would recommend you go to college with a degree. Don't do college without it. I don't know that it's new.
General degree.
It's a new test and they have a different scoring range. I just barely get in.
You go to dental school.
Something like that. I think I got a 4.5 or 5 or something.
You had to get the pass.
Right when I was there, it was about four, 5. I think I don't know what the score is now because of change.
What's periodontal?
Periodontal gum disease. If you go to a periodontist, that means you have plaque and tartar, you're losing bone and you're losing gum tissue, you're losing gum and you're losing bone tissue that supports your teeth. That means your teeth start to get loose. You have this bad breath. Everybody tries to say, I don't know why my breath's so bad because you have plaque and tartar that's causing bacteria to grow. Bacteria causes a bad odor.
Have you ever made a mistake for the wrong tooth?
No, that I haven't done, but it happens. I haven't done that.
Why haven't you brush your teeth like 5 minutes later your breath still gonna be stinking?
Because you have gum disease if you do that. It's kind of like, that's right. Again, you got your bone and your gum tissue, and underneath the gum tissue, you have plaque and tartar and all that stuff that kind of accumulates underneath there. Your toothbrush can't reach that. We have to physically go in and take all the plaque and tartar out of your teeth in order for the gums to heal up enough so we rid you of that bacteria that's causing the odor. So you can brush as well as you want to, but there's still some bad stuff in your mouth that you couldn't get to.
What's that disease with your gum?
That's periodontal disease.
What was your favorite and hardest subject?
My favorite and hardest subject. And they're different biologies. I would say probably
That's math.
was ahead. Probably microbiology. It's just a study of microbes, smallest life forms.
That was the hardest.
It was hard to, yeah. But the instructor made all the difference. The person who taught me, I was excited. I got challenged, somebody challenges me, it kind of makes me want to do well, work harder.
So what was your favorite?
My favorite? Microbiology.
So what was the hardest?
The hardest? Again, I like micro because of the challenge. Let me see, my hardest would probably be organic chemistry.
What's that about?
Organic chemistry, I wish I could describe this. It's carbon and hydrogen atoms, and you have to put Ca and OH. It's kind of like, I would almost have to describe it. It's about a lot of equations that you would have to learn. You kind of have something like that that looks like this. Then you have a line here, ball here, ball here, OH. Then you have another line coming from here. You have to realize all of this. Yeah, I still don't know how I got out of there. Then you have to, and then somebody will say, well, how does this react to this? And what happens if you lose that and you gain this and you add something on? So that's hydrogen and calcium and oxygen, hydrogen, all of it. It was confusing to me now, and I can't even explain how I did it then. But if you get a book and study it long enough, you kind of have to understand it. But this, you have to be able to draw diagrams and kind of visualize things in 3 dimensions. How this would look if I had a big box and that type of thing. So this course we had models that we actually could put together so we could see how things would look. Confusing, isn't it? Man, I can't even describe it for you. So you know how lost I would look. But that was organic chemistry. You had 2 of those, and I usually don't get those until you get into college. So I did not see that in high school. But everybody, if you talk to anybody who majored in biology or chemistry, that's what. When you have to take that, usually your sophomore, your junior year, everybody talk, oh, you better watch out for organic. Everybody starts getting spooky about it. There's a lot of memory. You have to memorize things and just kind of figure out from just your memory what the instructor was talking about so you can put these things on your test paper.
Do you like your job?
I love it. Yeah. I get to do what I like doing and get to see people every day. And it's challenging to try. It's kind of like art work. Sometimes when you get in there, somebody has a broken down tooth, and you want to make that tooth look natural, and like the tooth beside it and around it. But when it works out well and the patients are happy, you know, it makes you feel good about it.
What's the hardest test you ever did?
Organic. The same subject here, I can't even tell you how I did it. I still don't know what I did to get out of it. I was blessed again. But that was probably the hardest subject I had. Organic chemistry. If you ever look it up online, you can see what I'm talking about.
Have you ever talked to somebody and their breath is stinking and you try to like ease away a little bit, but they keep coming to you, you smelling it?
Well, I deal with that daily. Well, I won't say daily, probably once a month. Even with me, and I wear a mask. When we're working on you, I have goggles on, I have gloves on, and I have the mask. And every now and then I have a patient that older because I
You don't never make a face like,
huh?
you don't never like switch your face a little bit.
Well, they can't see me doing it. I'm coming up, but and you get used to it, so you can imagine. Now, this is a good teacher moment. I can tell the patient, you know, something's going on here, and I have to kind of dance around the fact that they have bad breath, so they know that, you know, your breath is kicking. So that's kind of what I do. I said, well, you know, there's some things, and we go back to the periodontal disease. So I said, I definitely know you have periodontal. And has anyone in your family ever, you know, sometimes you have been offended by your breath. So, you know, sometimes that's my job. I have to go there with them. So and they would tell me, well, yeah, you know, sometimes people tell me, you know, they may smell my breath or something. Well, could be most of the times it's periodontal disease. Other times when you have gas, just tell you this, sometimes that gas comes out from your stomach through your mouth. So it could be a digestive problem.
I ever had a client that get mad at you because you told them had bad breath?
Well, some, you know, I think I put it in such a way that it's all good, but yeah, sometimes they say, you know, you may get somebody say, well, I'm offended by that, but you know, you just tell them, in my case, ma'am or sir, I'm doing my job. I'm trying to get to the bottom of why you have this bad breath so I can help you. That's my job. I have to address it. And that's what they came to me for. Right.
People always talk about the cost it takes to go to dental school and build a practice. What suggestions do you have for people considering it as a career?
Okay. Cost. Well, you can get loans. Same loans that you would get for undergrad school, you can get to get. They may be professional school loans, but you can get the money from banks and different lending institutions. So I would advise someone to research that. If you don't have a family member who can help you get that. Now, I was an independent. Once I left high school, I had my football scholarship. When I got into dental school, it was all on me. So I had to, you know, borrow what money I got and pay. You know, it takes years to pay it back. And when you want to get your own practice, you still go to banks and lending institutions to get the money that you need to build your practice. That's what I did. And it's just money that you have to pay back in 10 years or 20 years. So I wouldn't let that be an excuse for me or keep you from doing anything that you need to do. Just have to have good credit. That's the thing. And sometimes you know your credit isn't that good, and sometimes they can work with you if you're on a good risk.
You ever heard this rapper named Kodak Black, right?
Who's that?
You heard this rapper named Kodak Black?
Kodak Black?
Yeah. He got a permanent goatee.
That's good you asked that, because somebody asked what is the downside of having a grill.
Don't the teeth get rotten? You know how to see it go.
Well, y'all gonna ask this question. Let's look at Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne went up to Rikers Island, and I think his teeth started to hurt. Rikers is a prison in New York. His teeth started to hurt. He had a grill that he'd been putting on for years, and it started to wear away as it down on his teeth, taking it in and out, starting to cause cavities. He was getting cavities underneath his grill. And because of that, he had to get about 9 root canals done. Yeah, so if you don't keep your teeth clean, and just the fact that you put grills in, and you keep it clean. You go in for your cleanings. You need to get your teeth cleaned at least every 6 months, once every 6 months. If you haven't been doing that, the grills and everything else that you take in and out, or the crowns that you have, you can get decay underneath them. And water and bacteria can leak underneath and get underneath these grills and cause
How
cancer.
y'all like put diamonds in teeth? Like, I know y'all drill holes, but how y'all make a diamond stay?
I don't do it, but yeah, you drill just like you put the band, that same etching technique that I told you about, the acid being put on the teeth and bond. That's the way you bond diamonds on teeth. I haven't done it. I know some of my friends who do it, but I haven't done it because I think it hurt your teeth.
What type of toothpaste do you recommend, and what's your?
These questions are being like crazy.
Don't let me ask a question.
Where we at?
What's your recommendation brand? Recommended brand, yeah.
Crest Pro Health is a pretty good brand if your teeth aren't sensitive. If your teeth are sensitive, I like Sensodyne toothpaste. So, and Colgate has one called Colgate Total. That's fine.
Regular Colgate don't. Yeah.
Any toothpaste, as long as there's fluoride in it, it's better than no toothpaste. But don't use anything that says extra whitening because, excuse me, that has a lot of abrasives in it and it can eat away at your teeth.
What that mean when you brush your teeth, in your, like your gums, or you start to bleed?
That means you have gum disease. Go back to the gum. You get odor from your mouth, your gums bleed easily. That means your gums have some sort of bacteria going on in there. How many of you all brush twice a day? Everybody brush twice a day? I mean, you brush well twice a day. I mean, you're in there about 3. It takes about 3 to 5 minutes to brush your
I
teeth.
brush my teeth in the morning about 2 or 3 times.
But you got to do it for about 3 minutes.
When I be brushing, like sometimes my teeth start bleeding.
Yeah, those are your gums.
So what that mean? Like, what should I do since I'm in this situation? Should I?
Can you floss? Do you allow floss in the facility?
If you ask the nurse for it.
Well, that's the key thing. And I know sometimes some places they won't let you have it, but flossing is real key because that kind of massages your gums and keeps you from getting food in between your teeth. Sometimes that food in between your teeth you can't get out with your toothbrush. You need a floss to get it out. That helps with the bleeding gums.
What is the difference between some folks with black gum versus pink gum?
Some of us, those of us who are African American, just the racial pigmentation can show up on your gums. So you may see some brown spots in between your teeth, but that's just because you have your ethnicity.
I heard like you got black gum up top and bottom, like you smoke too much.
Well, I would have to see you before you start to smoke. It could be that that's just your racial pigmentation. Now, smoking will cause some gum changes, but usually not to the extent where you have brown gums on your top and your bottom. Usually that's there before.
What's racial? What you say? What they mean?
Ethnicity?
Yeah, what they mean.
That means what you're basically made of. Let's say
Your race.
your race, yeah.
I was saying people my color, they gone pinker than ours.
No, it's just depending on, they have some African American in them. Even your lighter cousins, your darker cousins, all of us. If you do a genetic test, you have some African American, then you have potential to get the gum like that. Native Americans, those people from the Mediterranean, from the Middle East, all have pigmentation, gum possibilities.
How old do you have to be to get implants? Do they have to put? You gotta go back put your sheet.
No, a lot of us you do not have to be put to sleep for them, and the youngest I've seen with a patient who has had implants has been 18. Usually we don't like to do procedures like that until you're at least 18. Now, special cases, sometimes we have to do it because parents are insistent or a child can't eat well unless they have some sort of implant retained crown or denture. And then, with those exceptions, you get them. But usually you want to wait till you're 18.
because he's concerned about his gum.
So is it could it be that I'm brushing my teeth too hard? Or
Yeah, and you should use a soft toothbrush. Number one. Sometimes, anytime you get a toothbrush and the bristles say medium or hard, that's a bad thing. You want your toothbrush to be soft.
I don't know, it's a bark.
Huh?
It's a bark.
Barker?
Yeah.
Well, if you have the choice, sometimes you don't have a choice what type of toothbrush you have, but when you can get the type of toothbrush that I recommend, it should be soft and you go lightly. You don't scrub your teeth clean, you just kind of angle your toothbrush at 45-degree angles. Go softly. The sawing just going real hard is not doing you any good. You're sawing away your teeth.
Okay.
Do vapes, bites have any effect on your teeth?
Yeah.
Electronic cigarettes.
Anything with smoke, vapes, you name it, anything that has smoke coming out of it can cause tissue changes, can cause cancer. Anything.
Is bone loss reversible?
No, per se. Now, there are some things we can do to correct. We can get bone from other parts of your body and put it in there. Or we can get artificial bone. When we do cleanings, we're just basically removing the bacteria in the plaque of the tartar.
That's the scaling process.
That's a scaling process. Deep cleaning, some office call it scaling or root cleaning. And you just want to stop the progression of the disease from where your bone is there. But sometimes we can get bone from somewhere else and build it up if we need to do that.
So you eat a lot of sugar-free things?
Do I?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do because I'm pre-diabetic anyhow, so that high blood pressure. So certain things I have to do, but everybody can eat healthy. Even if you're healthy, I would advise you not to eat anything. Always chew gum that doesn't have sugar in it. Do sugarless gum. Trident is what I chew a lot of.
Okay, so on Thanksgiving, you're going to forget about that?
No, I'm going to try to do things in moderation if I can. I'm going to get a piece of sweet potato pie. Now, let's not get it twisted. I'm going to eat some things that I want to, but I'm going to do it in moderation because not only do I have dental needs, but if I'm pre-diabetic and have high blood pressure and high cholesterol, I have to watch what I do. So.
You know how like cavities form? Like how do the hole in your teeth get in there?
Acid. The same when we're talking about acid to repair your teeth, that's a good acid because we can control that. But that bacteria, when your bacteria get in your mouth, you get in calculus and tartar gets real hard. It's kind of like a condominium for bacteria. And they're in their party and they're throwing their beer bottles around and the paper plates around, which are the toxins. So, and bacteria create waste themselves. So that waste that they create is acidic. So anything that's acidic when it gets on a healthy tooth structure, gum structure will eat away at your good tissue. That's how the hole gets made. Literally acid eating a hole in your tooth from the bacterial waste.
Do you participate and give kids a SMILE program where children who don't have dental insurance receive a free cleaning once a year?
I do that. I do Missions of Mercy. I don't know whether any of you heard of that, but that's coming up. Actually, not next weekend, 2 weekends where we treat those who can't get help anywhere else. And I also do donated dental services where I have somebody who comes in my office or people come in my office who can't afford dental work. I just call the agency and tell them I'll take somebody on as a case.
You know how
You gotta get back. You know
how when you're young, your teeth be straight, but once you get a little bit older, you start getting crooked.
Mm-hmm.
What's the cause of that?
What's my favorite? What has been my favorite topic so far? What type of disease?
Gum disease.
Gum disease. Your bone and your bone that supports your teeth and your gum that supports your teeth get jacked up. Your teeth stop moving because the bone won't hold them in a proper position.
Alcohol decay your teeth.
Oh yeah. Alcohol has a lot of sugar in it. Well, it's a couple of things that you get in everything that you don't realize in almost every food and in almost every drink that you have. You get a lot of salt and you get a lot of sugar. You may not know it. Even when you have desserts, you have a lot of salt in your dessert. And, any kind of sugar, even artificial sweeteners can cause your teeth, cause problems with your teeth. There are a couple of drinks I did actually make your teeth softer. Gatorade, Mountain Dew would literally just make your teeth soft. As soon as you start drinking them, they would make your teeth spongy.
What about Pepsi?
Pepsi, Coke, all of them.
Also,
There's a lot of acid and sugar. So you get, well, you can drink it, but you, again, just like I was, the worst one, Mountain Dew and Gatorade, Powerade, all of those things. Real make your teeth strong, almost like a sponge, just like that.
Milk.
Dr. Pepper, milk is pretty good because that's not acidic. All soda's acid. You wouldn't think Gatorade is acidic, and it's not, but it has more acid than you think it does. It has a lot of sodium in it, because that's the thing that's why athletes drink a lot of it, because when you're running, you keep getting cramps, they want you to get salt in your system.
Do you do like laser surgery?
I don't do it. I send those to specialists. But that's going to be very popular for all of us to do it in a few years.
That's a good question.
If your teeth looks clean and healthy and you don't brush them, are they still healthy?
Just like that guy who put on that nice suit and didn't put on any deodorant. Sooner or later, somebody's gonna be able to tell you to put it in. You're sharp, but you
Still.
still smell.
What is the best kind of tooth? Oh, you already answered that.
Oh, that is toothpaste. Yeah, come on, man.
What is the process of bleaching or whitening teeth, and how does it cost? How much does it cost?
That's a good question. That's possible. What we do with the bleaching, of course, we got to go back. You have to go back and get your teeth clean, and that is some sort of that's almost like a bleach. The bleaching is kind of a bleach. It's kind of like a hydrogen peroxide, a dental version of that. I don't advocate that people brush with hydrogen peroxide, but a lot of the older people used to brush with baking soda hydrogen peroxide back in the day. And you get that bubbly feeling, making it seem as though everything was clean. But we have different degrees of that hydrogen peroxide as a dental form of it in a gel. What you do, you get your teeth clean first, and I use trays, and you put the solution, it looks like a gel, in the tray, and you put it in for 2 to 3 hours a day for about a week. And a tooth that is probably beige looking, in about 2 to 3 weeks, you get it to look white. That's just a very general description of it. But what it does, it absorbs into the teeth, takes out the stains, and changes the color in your enamel.
So are the ones that you buy over the counter safe?
Yeah, those are pretty good. The thing is about the ones that you put on the counter, if you can imagine, they don't go into the different curves of the teeth that way. So that means you have a flat strip that you put there, and some parts of the teeth aren't getting the bleach. They're better than nothing. So a lot of people use them, but the trays, the material is evenly dispersed around the teeth.
Do you know the little they got this little thing you can put on your teeth? White strips. Yeah, white strips.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you're talking about?
That's what you're talking about.
What sort of causes make
Cases.
Yeah, that's what I said.
You should have called it.
What sort of cases make up the majority of your practice?
Most of the patients that come off of me basically are, I would say, need fillings. Most people do. And cleanings. I mean, we can't get away from that. There's no need for me to do a filling on a tooth if the tooth is not going to be strong enough to save. So most of them come in for cleanings, and we do fillers now. But a tooth is broken down or has a lot of decay in it to the point where I can't fill it, then we do quite a few crowns. And of course, if the teeth can't be saved, then we're talking about, you know, with anything, then we do quite a few little extractions to take the teeth out.
How long have you been working with youth?
With youth, ever since I've been out of dental school, since 1937. That's what I worked with. That's who I worked with mostly when I was in public health. We didn't do too many adult treatments. We worked mostly with kids and young adults.
Can an abscess tooth kill?
Hmm?
Can an abscess?
Oh, yes, it can. There was a case in New York not too long ago, about 5 years ago, where a kid went in to see someone and they didn't have the money, so the dentist sent him home. And the abscess, it was from a top tooth, and the abscess went into his brain, killed him.
With the tooth root you did?
The infection from the tooth went, it was a top tooth. This part of the mouth, the infection went from the root, which is embedded in the bone, up here, and it went to his brain.
Mm. What does it mean?
I know some people, like, they only brush their teeth, they don't brush their tongue.
You gotta brush it. You have to
You gotta brush everything, right?
even the inside of your cheeks.
Your cheeks, what else?
Well, go far as back. A lot of us can't go too far back on your tongue because it gags you, but gently go as far back on your tongue as you can, in the cheeks, in the palate, part of the mouth here that you can put your tongue up here. Brush that too.
No, the soft spot. It's soft.
Well, it's soft as you get, the further you get back toward your throat, it gets soft back there. But all of that, that's palate up here is what we call the hard palate. That's pretty firm. Just go gently up there. Just get your brush.
Why should we brush the side and
Bacteria gathers. You're getting plaque and bacteria on your cheek. Anything in your mouth, you get plaque. You get that odor causing plaque and bacteria.
so we brush on our tongues too?
Mm-hmm. As far as you can, as far as you can reach without causing you to gag.
So can using mouthwash help that?
That helps, yeah, but that brush kind of physically removes that stuff that accumulates.
How often should we change our toothbrushes?
As soon as that, and it takes about probably a month for a toothbrush needing to be changed. But you can tell when the bristles start to fold over, you know, the bristles start to look like they're bending around. Then you need to change the brush. It takes about 3 weeks to a month to change the toothbrush.
3 weeks to a month.
So once the hair start coming out, change it.
The hair start coming out, then you really need to change it. But when they start to bend over, if it starts looking like a mop, then that's time to get rid of it. Your past time to get rid of it.
What does it mean when you have white spots on your teeth?
Means you could have had too much fluoride in your system or not enough. Now, you're getting fluoride. Fluoride is what helps keep your teeth healthy and strong. You get fluoride in your drinking water in both places. Some people need an extra amount of it, and you can get that from ACT. ACT is a fluoride rich. It's a brand thing.
Explain the relationships between good dental hygiene and other health conditions.
Okay, that's a good question. These must be coming from teachers or these students.
That's how Willingham class is.
I was there
That's
once.
a good question. Okay, the bacteria from your mouth, you got strep utans, strep pyogenes, and different, like streptococcus. Anytime you hear strep, you may hear this strep throat. Okay, I got strep throat. That's the type of bacteria. Can you imagine having anything in your body that you don't swallow? That means if you have anything in your mouth, is it not going to go down to your stomach somehow?
No.
So if you have bacteria, if
Okay, yeah.
you have bacteria in your mouth, where's that bacteria going to go when you eat?
It's gonna go down.
Once it gets in your stomach, it becomes absorbed and you get into your kidneys, your liver, all your heart. There are some situations in which we have to give patients an antibiotic because the bacteria from the mouth can get into the heart. And those cases are where if you have certain types of heart murmurs, if you had a joint replaced. And sometimes the medical doctor will say, I want my patient to have antibiotics before he comes in for this condition or the other. So that leads us to believe that we do know that the bacteria from your mouth, if we don't adequately clean it to get it out of your mouth, can cause damage in your other organs.
What's the best way to treat an abscess?
Remove the cause. That's the best way. Now, I say that to say this. If you come in and you have an abscess and the tooth can't be taken out, or if you don't get a root canal done that day, we at least put you on an antibiotic, something to try to get your infection out. Penicillin, amoxicillin, erythromycin, something like that, to try to get it out. Sometimes you have to go in, and severe cases where you get cellulitis, you have to go in and blanch the area and let the pus run out of it. To try to get the bacteria under control, but the ideal thing is go ahead and stop the root canal or take the tooth out as soon as possible.
Who treats you for abscess?
General dentists can do that, again, with antibiotics, giving some sort of antibiotic treatment or doing a root canal or taking the tooth out. Sometimes, a lot of times, we send that patient to an oral surgeon. The doctor who takes out wisdom teeth also can treat aggressive infections.
Was there ever a time when you first started being a dentist that it was hard for you to quite do it well?
Yeah, when you're first out of dental school, you just don't have the experience or the confidence that you need to that you regain when you get older.
So what motivated you?
What motivates me? Well, in my case, I had to eat. If I didn't see patients, I didn't treat patients, I didn't get paid. Plus, if you have a good dentist who's a good mentor, somebody who's older than you, who will stand on your shoulder and continue to teach you, that's probably the most motivating thing. People will help you along until you get comfortable doing what you need to do. So it just takes time. You just have to, the only way you can get experience is to do it.
Are there any kind of food or fruit that are healthy for the teeth?
Celery's healthy. I drink a lot of water. Now, water does a couple of things. If you drink the Cokes and the Gatorade that I told you about, it's always a good idea to drink tea. If you drink tea and coffee, it's always a good idea to drink water right after, because that will help rinse that right off. So water's good. Tomatoes, carrots, those types of things. Anything that you can eat that doesn't have a lot of, it won't cause a lot of stain on your teeth. You don't want to eat anything with a lot of sugar all the time or a lot of starch. Now, bread is terrible. Bread and corn has a lot of starch in it. You need those types of things, but I wouldn't just make my diet consist of anything that has a lot of starch in it, because that has different types of sugars in it as well.
I was once told that eating meat wasn't really what our teeth were made to do. Is that true?
They help with it. I love my meat. I'm not a vegetarian. But as long as you keep your teeth clean, meat's not a bad thing. As long as it's a healthy meat. You don't want to get anything real hard like jerky or some other things.
Alligator.
Some of those are the annihilators. That's sugar.
He said alligator.
Yeah, that's the name of it.
He said
Pork
alligator.
rinds. Those pork rinds with the hard chips in them. Those will break your teeth as well.
What about alligators?
Go to alligators. I know now later, but
Alligators,
Some real alligator.
oh, eating the meat. I mean, that's just no different than I thought it was a can. It's no different than eating fish or chicken or anything else. I think it's the same texture. I'm not eating it. But with meat now, if you all follow me, you will start to get food in between your teeth more so with meat than vegetables. So that's when flossing will come in.
How does the blue light Oh, that's the blue light whitening.
The what?
Blue light whitening.
Blue light whitening works pretty good. And it's supposed to be, the chemical that you put in your teeth is supposed to be activated by with a special blue light. Now, this blue light is something that we also use to harden that filling. I don't know whether any of you got the filling or sealing, and the doctor, the nurse, or the assistant put the light on. That's a reaction. It causes that filling material to harden. There's something in that ultraviolet beam that causes the material to harden. So what that light source does when you bleach it, warms the tooth up so that the material can absorb in there. I don't like it too much because the tooth can start to feel hot and get real sensitive, and that kind of wipes out the whole procedure. But it works pretty good if your teeth don't get sensitive.
A long time ago, I had chipped my tooth, and I had to go to the dentist, and they like put like some on like some, and like now my teeth like, I got 2 front teeth now, and like now like I eat cold stuff, it's sensitive really bad.
Right.
I can't eat like my front teeth.
Right.
Why is that?
Anytime we put a filling in the tooth, there could have been some damage already to it when it was, the reason why we did the filling was because there was some damage to it. But that filling material, sometimes you adapt to it and you can kind of wear off that sensitivity to hot and cold will wear off. Other times it just stays there. Sometimes the nerve gets to the point where it may die.
When I was young, I went to the dentist. I forgot what they did, but like that day they told me not to eat for a while because my cheek real puffy. What did they do? You know what I'm talking about when they do something in your teeth, your cheek get puffed out?
Right.
What is that?
You could have had abscess then.
The what?
Oh, did you talk about the same day or was it, did it swell up a day after?
No, it was the same day they had this.
I was an injection there. They probably told you not to eat until the numbers fall.
What's that medicine y'all inject to make it numb?
Lidocaine, it's a numbing agent. The popular name, a lot of people call it lidocaine. Laughing gas, that's a gas. That's something that gets the anxiety out your system. Sometimes when you get the laughing gas, you still have to get the injection. It's just a numbing agent.
So which one you prefer, the gas or the
I don't use gas in my office. Gas is fine if you need to get the anxiety, if you need to take care of your fear. I just don't use it in my office because I don't have enough people to sit there and monitor patients with. So my go-to is inject, giving you what I call it the numbing juice.
I ever had little kids that was scared to get their teeth cleaned.
If I can't handle someone who's young, I send them to a pediatric specialist. That's a specialist who just deals with kids.
Read that one. I want to know.
What does it mean when you see thin white layers on your teeth?
Again, it could be too much fluoride or not enough fluoride, or your enamel could be getting soft. A lot of times the enamel gets real chalky and soft, and that means you have the potential of getting cavities there.
What to do if you, if he had
a feel, and 2 weeks later it still hurts.
a feeling, if in 2 weeks later it still hurts?
Just gotta have to give it some time. Now, it could be that tooth will need a root canal.
So how long does it take for it to stop hurting?
It may not stop hurting, but usually when it does, it usually takes about, we call it about 6 weeks. If it's still going on for 6 weeks, then you start to become concerned. Usually it starts to feel better in about 2 months.
So when you get a fill and then like a few weeks later you find out you need a root canal, is it the dentist's fault? Why?
Let me tell you that I go through this, fortunately not too much in my office, but the reason why you needed a filling was that there was a call. Oh, this is the one. Well, doc, that tooth never hurt me until you did something to it. I hear that. My tooth was perfectly okay until you feel it. Okay, what happens is usually the decay is getting close to or in the nerve to start with. And when we go in there and have to clean everything out, it could be that the medicine we put in the tooth to protect that tooth just didn't adequately satisfy the pulp. So our attempt is to try to clean it out, put that medicine in there and cover it up. And then we're kind of like in a wait and see phase to see if that pulp is going to tolerate that filling. But we had to do what we needed to do to remove the decay out of it. And sometimes the decay on the X-ray, it's not nearly as bad as it is when we get in there. When we get in there, we find that the decay is real deep, and then we have to go in and take out the deep decay, which could be close to the pulse.
I know. Yeah, question. He's still on the gums. He want to know how you keep your gums pink, and I'm thinking, like you said, it's your racial makeup. I don't think it's a. Is it a maintain thing?
Nah, because when I was little, I had
Maintain
teeth
this
to look.
look.
Now I'm black, so
You probably the pigmentation kind of can increase as you get older. Your gums may not be as pink as they were when you were a child, as they are, and they may get dark as you get older. But to that end, some of it, if you do have gum inflammation, it's not going to be the racial pigmentation that's going to change. If you have a lot of plaque and tartar, the gums will be red now and could become thicker once you get a dental cleaning or scale and root cleaning. But the pigmentation, racial pigmentation, probably will increase with age. But if it's brown or darker brown or lighter brown spots up there, that's just the way it's going to be.
I think you answered that. What happens as a result of teeth grinding? Yeah, you answered that. But you did, I don't think you covered this part, Joe. They asked, do your gums recede?
Because of the grinding? Yes. Again, the teeth start to flex. You got it. And with that flexing, that's kind of pushing that gum tissue down.
Can you answer that too? Can eating big meals like Thanksgiving be bad for your teeth? Oh, you talking. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm gonna eat within reason. But as long as you brush your teeth, afterwards, then you should be all good.
Okay, fellas, any more questions?
Everybody asked what you wanted to ask.
Any more questions?
You seen that video?
Which one?
What Shirley
That old lady.
You name it.
Shirley Caesar.
Shirley Caesar.
He said Shirley Temple.
What you gonna cook for Thanksgiving?
So you're talking about the greens and the beans. I heard that when she did that years ago before y'all were born. She did a song back in the day. She was talking about that. She also preaches. So I heard it years ago. So it's becoming popular here.
You treat patients with HIV.
I do. That's a good question.
That's the other question.
What extra
Precaution.
precautions do you take?
That's a good question. We don't know. A lot of people will announce that they have HIV. Most of them won't tell us that they have HIV. So we wear the same thing for everybody.
Cover up everything.
But how you know? Like if you look in their mouth, you can't tell.
No. Sometimes you can't tell that, and we can't just stop with HIV. There's hepatitis, which I guess a lot of people have been hearing about recently because hepatitis C, they found a cure for that or getting some sort of injection for it. But you don't know. Now, unless you are sick or coming in with some sort of signs, there are some signs that we might be able to tell somebody is HIV positive. That's usually when they are getting real sick. Otherwise, you don't know. So we wear masks, gloves, proper eyewear protection. My arms are covered when I'm in the office as well. I also put coverings on my shoes. I just do that because if my shoes aren't clean, I don't want to see any blood or anything on my shoes.
Why all nurses wear them type of shoes?
They're good for your back. I'm on my feet all day long. They're good for your back and your feet because when I'm going from room to room, and these shoes are easy. They're very good to keep my back supported, keep my back from hurting. A lot of arch support.
Any more questions? Oh, here comes Willingham.
What type of habits can a dentist tell by looking in a person's mouth?
Yeah, go back to grinding, and I can tell definitely if you grind. I can also tell if you bite your fingernails because you chip your teeth. There are some conditions, anorexia, and there are people who have anorexia and bulimia sometimes because they throw up all the time. These are people who have eating issues that cause the backs of their teeth to wear down. The acid eats away in their teeth. That.
How can bite your fingernails chip it too?
You can imagine you do it like this. These two teeth here, or the anterior teeth, chewing against each other. You're doing this all the time, and it causes your teeth to chip. And these fingernails are hard too, so you chip your teeth, you just put the fingernail.
He was thinking.
So when you was in high school, you wanted to be a dentist.
Yeah, I kind of had an idea of what something like that. Didn't really get to it seriously until I was in college, but I kind of had an idea.
So you were saying like you just said that you ain't get into it until you was in college. What made you wanted to go forth and be a dentist?
Well, I knew I wanted to do something in the health professional field, and again, I didn't want to be a medical doctor, but I just didn't want to deal with what they had to deal with on a day-to-day basis. And I kind of hung out with my dentist when I was in high school, just kind of seeing if that would be something that I wanted to do.
What else was you looking into?
Medical, being a medical doctor or teaching. I did teach school for a while.
What school?
Northampton County High School, which is near a high school.
Have you ever thought about teaching, in the college profession, as far as being still know how to do this?
I did for a minute, but I didn't pursue it. I would have had to go back to school to specialize. I wanted to go back to Chapel Hill 20 years ago to teach, but I would have to specialize. At the time, I was trying to feed a family and support my family, and I said, if I had time, I could do it. If I was a single man, I might have, but you know how it is when you have to support a family. You got to make a decision.
What was you at when you was in Guilford?
Hmm?
What was you
In the health department, I was in High Point. I worked in High Point office and in Greensboro.
Is there anything you want to go back and change in your life?
Good question. I would say, yeah, probably some of the guys I hung out with, I probably would not have done that part of it. But I learned a lot. I know now that that's something that I would not want to do. If I didn't do it, I would not have known that that's something to stay away from.
Why would you?
But I was cool, I was one of the boys, great. So you go back home now, everybody, you're cool with everybody,
Your friends that you hung out with back in the day, and you go home now and they treat you different now that you're, or do they say that you changed?
So I'm saying, oh, look, I'm Mr. Upton and some of them. And then the rest of them said, man, you did all right, man, I'm glad you got out.
You just want to do the same thing with your dad cheese man, so they still there.
Some do, yeah. Most of them, probably in a small town like a high school, everybody wants to get out. We were fortunate enough that, if you know where we are, and I guess I kind of told you, a lot of our people went to the shipyards in North and Hampton. People do this where they build ships. The Navy has a big Navy yard up there. So a lot of my friends, a lot of my family worked in the shipyards and would go there and come back home every day. So a lot of them did do that for some things and moved on, but we all wanted to get to a bigger place, being a hospital because it was so small. So fortunately, that motivated a lot of people.
Do you think about opening more business?
No, not right now. I just want to maximize what I have. I'm 56, so I don't want to start too many things. I'm trying to help somebody else come along, maybe work with me, so they can buy the practice.
I would make an appointment.
Well, please do. I don't know whether I leave cards or not.
You can leave the card.
So I'll leave the cards, so you all. I mean, these are fine. in the dental way, you know, just talking about all, I would just like to be talking about off talk. How about that?
How does that donate service work?
Pardon?
That donate service.
Yeah, yeah, donate dental services. Go online and they will, you know, literally, you go online and tell them, you know, I may know somebody who qualifies for this. They'll put you on the waiting list and try to pay you with somebody. With a dentist who's on Route 7. Oh, right, I do, but you have to go and request.
Okay.
Sometimes they will say, well, he's not available now because he's taking on. That's like they were waiting list for people. So they try to get you to the word first of all. Just tell them I spoke to you. And we get them saying, yeah, can you help a brother out? You know, sometimes you just gotta do that.
So how many clients do you think you see?
Between the hygiene and my book, I'm probably 25 to 30.
A day?
A day. Thank God for that's a lot of people. But I want to, we do it, and I'm not backlogged. I don't have too many people in there that I can't treat them. So, I see a lot less, a lot of other people.
What would you say to the patient?
Mm-hmm.
What do you say to the patient?
Ma'am or sir, we're doing the best we can. And most of the time, it legitimately is an emergency. Say, I'm sorry, something came up. It's going to take us a little longer than that. You know, if you want to wait, sometimes we ask patients, do you want to reschedule because it's running?
Why do it be so cold? Why it be so cold?
Because of what we're wearing. Consider the fact that I'm covered up. The hygienist, all of us are covered up. We're wearing a mask, we're wearing goggles, so all of that, it's hard to breathe through those masks. Because of all the things that we wear to protect ourselves, protect the patients from us. That makes it more.
Like, what's your hours?
8:30 to 5:30 is my team.
What piece of advice would you give a young man who may be watching or who was in here, who may consider going to dentist school, or even the medical field, or even college? Mm-hmm. What piece of advice would you give them, being that they're in?
The biggest thing I would tell you is that have a goal. You got to have something positive to work for. Something positive to go to. Don't let anybody who may take you around, take you down the wrong path. Don't let them get in your way. That's the biggest thing. That's what I do. So I'm getting you the real now. It's like I can stay in a hospital doing this stuff and not get anywhere, or I can move on. I can get out of a hospital, get out of carport, I can get out of Charlotte. I can get out of Statesville, but I'm getting out of Statesville. I'm getting out of Concord. I can't keep doing this. So that was my goal. I had football to help me with. I just got busy. Obviously, I didn't want to hang out home. So that's why I played 4 sports. I didn't want to go home and do stuff. So I just stayed busy in school, And it wasn't a positive thing that, I was trying to chase every skirt there was. And it kept me out of trouble in a way because I wasn't hanging out with the boys. I was being Mr. Lover Man. But I'm just getting real with you, so but it kept me from doing stuff that I shouldn't have been doing.
And now the other thing you said you change people that you hang out with. Why is that?
Mm-hmm.
You said if you had one thing that you would change that you hang out with.
Well, I would not have gone through the lessons that I went through here. I could have made it easier.
But it taught you. And
I did say that it was a blessing in disguise too. Because then again, I realized that I would not have known that I was doing the wrong thing if I hadn't been doing the wrong thing.
But a lot of you guys know what's right from wrong, but you still choose to do wrong. Don't be trying to make that sound like, I gotta learn. So I'm
right. It's not a big badge of honor to say, I'm one of the boys. I got lucky. I got lucky, so you're absolutely right.
And you have to, and you have to listen to what people are telling you. Most people, when they trying to get you out there, whatever you in, they not doing it to hurt you, they doing it to help you. But some of y'all choose not to listen, even though somebody went through something.
It's hard. It's easier to
Yeah, and that's so true.
Yeah.
But you got to make that choice.
You have to make a choice, and I'm telling you that there's no other way but to go forward. I mean, that's long story short, you have to keep moving forward and be someplace where you can be free.
like when we was growing up, we have both of the supports. I mean, both of the supports we carry.
Got it.
And generation now, we grow up with one.
Yeah, and I can appreciate that. And that's what parents trying to do the best they can. But my thing was when I was sitting there, looking at each other, and I sat there with regrets, looking at my mother's being by. I sat there with regrets. I wish I had done more with this as you have right here. So I tell people, you don't want to be in that moment, and your mother's in front of you, and there are things that you wish you had done different. You can't talk to it in now. You can't make it happen now.
So he was growing up with Paul. He was there. He was
Yeah. Both parents were in the house, which is, and again, in a small town like that, people just didn't get divorced, break up in where I came from. And it was a different thing, different time.
Guess who let me out?
now.
It's tougher for you all. I admit it. I mean, you got a lot of people who say, oh, it's so easy. Just do what I do and do what I did. I don't understand why you're having such a hard time. It's not like it is now. It's tough. People have much more information. You get into much more things. We didn't have cell phones. I mean, you have too many distractions. There's no fault of yours. It's just the way society.
We have no jurisdiction over it.
Right, fellas?
No,
I enjoyed it.